Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us this evening on our doTERRA Build webinar. And this evening I'm going to be spending a little bit of time with you to go through and tell you, I'm sure most of you know about the doTERRA business opportunity. Great to see so many of you with us here this evening. Together with my wife Sue, we head up the Global Lifestyles Group in doTERRA. We've been in network marketing for just over 23 years, so the industry we know very, very well, even though doTERRA is obviously a very new company and relatively new to us, but we certainly feel that we've come home very much by finding this opportunity. And like I said, I want to spend some time to tell you a little bit about it. So if you bear with me just a second, I'm just going to share the screen and let's put this into the right mode. Okay, so like I said, my job this evening is to give you an overview of our business. And of course, you would have been invited on here by somebody else, and you can get back to them and ask them any other questions, of course, of any areas that we may not touch, of course. Now, here's a question for you to start with. Are you ready for financial freedom? And what does that mean to people? Well, probably a good place to start is by just telling you a brief little story here, and I think it's got a lot of meaning behind it. This story starts is that there was a man who used to haul buckets of water for a living. Every day he hauled water from the nearest source to his village miles away. If he wanted to make more money, he would simply work longer hours hauling buckets. Now, after many years, understandably, he grew very weary of hauling buckets. And then he got inspired. If he used his spare time to build a pipeline, eventually he could be free from hauling buckets. So he labored diligently for a few years to build that pipeline. Now, the day he turned on the spigot, everything changed completely. He successfully created an unlimited supply of water for those years that he put in, and improved lifestyle for the villagers and himself, resulting in an abundant financial pipeline. Now, some of you will be thinking, well, why is that relevant to what we're talking about here with doTERRA? And in fact, it's extremely relevant. You see, the question is, when we're talking about financial freedom, is where are you? Are you hauling buckets? And what we mean is obviously trading hours for pounds, or depending where you are in the world, dollars. Are you trading hours simply for pounds? Which is what most people do. They get paid, whether it be the minimum wage, or even if it's a great minimum or a great wage, there's only so many hours that you can work in a week. And that means there's a limit on advancement and earnings, and of course there's only so many hours that you can put in a week, which means you've got limited time freedom. And generally, you're either building your own dreams or you're building your boss's dreams. And most of the time, the majority of people are building other people's dreams. Where, if you choose to build a pipeline, in doTERRA terms, this can give you true lasting residual income. There is no limit to your advancement and the earnings you can actually get, which you'll see as we're going through this presentation. There's a freedom to choose your own schedule. Of course, you need to put some work in. Nobody's going to try and kid you that you're going to be, untold wealth is going to be, bestowed on you. You have to put some time and some effort into it, but you do work your own schedule. And you're not building other people's dreams. You can actually be building your own dreams. So why partner with doTERRA? There are many other companies out there in the world that you think we could do this with. Well, we were 22.5 years with one, and we never moved from that company until we found doTERRA, and that may tell you something. Let's talk about the products. The products are extremely effective. We have the most tested, most trusted products, being essential oils, and we've got 4.5 million customers worldwide. So that's a good start. We also have a standard of quality, CPTG, which stands for Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. And that is the doTERRA quality and purity standard. One of the major differences between us and other companies that might look similar is the retention. We have, I believe, 65%. I have heard it's gone up to 68% of retention. That means people coming back to us and buying again. Now, other companies in our industry that may be in the health and wellness area typically only have around 10 to 13%, but we have 65% plus of people coming back to us, not once, but they come back to us every single quarter and purchase again, which is, as we said, is completely record-breaking in the industry. Now, most direct selling opportunities do lead with the opportunity. They talk about earning income, and almost the product is, as a byproduct. And the product sales depend on how good the opportunity is. And when they are talking to people, they're talking about opportunity rather than product. And the main difference with doTERRA is 95% of people who join doTERRA as a wholesale customer or wellness advocate are really only interested in the oils, because the oils are such a high quality. So we here lead with powerful, genuine, pure products. And the products sell regardless of the opportunity. Okay, so that's a big, big difference with us. We lead very much here with the quality of our products. So we don't just import a load of stuff from another country and sell them. We work very, very much on our own products and the purity of them. Our opportunity is also proven. We've been going as a company a relatively short period of time. But even then, doTERRA had its 10th birthday yesterday. But even in that short decade, they're now the largest essential oil company in the world. We're talking about optimal timing for our opportunity. Already in that time, we're approaching 130 countries that we're opening, and that's growing as well. And this is very important. The company is debt-free. There's no outside interest or funding. It stands on its own. Because there are many companies, and trust me, I know, that had major problems with debt. We're part of $1 trillion per annum wellness industry, and we're also led by a very diverse team of business, marketing, healthcare professionals with over 150 years worth of experience. That is very important as well, I believe. This particular slide I love when it shows the growth of our company compared to another company that you've probably heard of called Apple. And this was in the first 7 years of our operation, where we went to $1 billion per annum company, but we actually grew at the same rate as Apple in those first 7 years. And in fact, now I believe we're growing faster than them, because we're now obviously doubled that amount of turnover in the last 2 to 3 years. Now, I have to be honest and say, when I was looking for a new opportunity, I wasn't particularly looking for an ethical opportunity. But wow, what a bonus it is that we found a company that is so ethically run and driven. Every purchase that we make really does make a difference to other people's lives. We have our co-impact sourcing model that we run, and it makes a huge, huge difference to the world when we do that. When we go into countries and we go into communities, we don't just take the product, we work with the local communities. doTERRA, in many cases, builds schools and actually do build pipelines if they don't have any running water as well, and guarantee that they will pay their people a fair wage. Okay, like I said, this co-impact sourcing is exclusive to doTERRA. And also they do work, of course, with their Healing Hands Foundation. You can find out more about how they do things, about the science behind the products, but also about, like I said, their co-impact sourcing at a beautiful website actually called source2you.com. I would highly recommend that you check that out. Now, we do have a testimonial. Well, we have a couple of testimonials this evening. And I just asked them to come on really and tell you their experience really with the oils. And the first person that we've got, hopefully, if you should be being unmuted, is Jackie Ellis. Are you there, Jackie?
I am, Andy. Yes, good evening.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
You just carry on. Sorry, I should say, you just say your story.
Okay, no, that's brilliant. Thank you. I take it everyone can actually hear me okay. Okay, so how did we come to, or myself really try to start with a Smart and Sassy essential oil? Well, to be honest, Steve and I are really self-confessed foodies, to be perfectly honest, and we owned our own catering business for 7 years, so we're, you know, a little bit into food. But I blame Steve entirely because he introduced me to red wine and Indian food for the weight I'd gained over the years. But joking aside, I'd really struggled with high cholesterol for many years, and I don't like taking statins. I don't like any medication of any sort, to be perfectly honest. And I have a genetic form of high cholesterol. It's apparently the inherited sort, so I do have to sort of obviously monitor my cholesterol quite closely. So I was always having trouble with it, getting a telling off from the GP and promising to take the awful pills they wanted to give me and do it for a week and then don't take them. But the cholesterol had always sort of fluctuated between sort of 7 and 10, and 10 at the maximum, which is, you know, not unduly over high, but, you know, it was enough for them to say you need to take statins. So I was always sort of a little bit lacking, I suppose, in the self-control. I mean, I'd eaten the kids' Easter eggs before they got them many years ago, and I suppose there is a lot of people that have done that as well, but I have confessed to it. And also, I suppose the 3 words, I suppose, were I just couldn't say no. But 10 years ago, I really noticed that with a certain age that I reached, my weight was starting to creep on very slowly, and I suppose my metabolism just completely stopped altogether. But a couple of years ago, really, we had a dramatic lifestyle change, and we became full-time carers for Steve's mum and dad. We actually live with them. They're unable to look after themselves, and they're 87 with an awful lot of health issues, bless them. And Nanny is Nanny Cake, and I mean, for obvious reasons. Bless her, she has Alzheimer's, and it's in the later stages now at the moment, and she's basically really like a 4-year-old in a grown-up body. Her eyes will light up if you give her cake or a cornet or something. She literally shakes with delight, the smile over her face. And going shopping, when we do take them occasionally, you know, it's all the Werthers and the chocolate and custard ice cream and everything that goes in the basket. So you know, you can't stop the elders basically. But she's anemic and needs good nutrition, so I do really try to give them 3 healthy meals a day, you know, Guinness in the gravy, etc. There's also obviously gallons of tea a day, which elders love to drink, with you know, a biscuit or 3. And really and truly, food was coming at me from all sides, and you know, Dad gets offended if I refuse. We don't have a dog to give the tidbits to. I used to give the chocolates to Steve. So, you know, obviously the habits of me having to cook 3 good meals, fish and chips on a Friday and what have you, became very aware of also of the tablets I was dishing out to them, the prescriptions I was having to get, you know, the daily pots of pills, that kind of thing. And I'm finding I was getting very breathless going upstairs and snoring like a train, apparently. Joints aching as well, obviously with the extra weight I was carrying, and even struggling to cut my toenails. So I was getting a bit scared that possibly I may not live long enough to look after everyone really, and possibly have some serious health issues myself later on, and really beat myself up because I couldn't really have the time to exercise as I know I should. You know, a slow shuffle around the shops just doesn't cut it. So I weighed myself just after Christmas. I was actually at my heaviest I've ever been in my life, even through all my pregnancies, and just really refused to buy another size of clothing again. Over the years, I've sort of the last 3 years, I suppose, I put on a stone in every year for the last 3 years that I could think of, maybe losing half and then putting on another stone. So I ordered the Smart and Sassy from Craig and Leslie, and I started on January the 8th. And I thought, well, this, you know, if this helps, it would be a really good story to maybe to help others. I sort of felt like I was on a hiding to none, and I thought, well, I'm going to give this a go. And Leslie and Craig suggested just 1 tiny drop in a shot glass of water, and do that before and after every meal. So that was 3 times a day. I lost every week or most weeks I was losing over £2, which is quite unusual for me, because I really only do tend to only lose about £1, half a pound. So this was quite a bigger weight loss for me. So I was really quite pleased and amazed by it all. I forgot a couple of times, as you do, I'm human. But what I was finding, it's suppressing my appetite and really enabling me to actually control what I was eating, which, I didn't realise this was happening, to be perfectly honest. Still cooking for the elders, but my portion sizes I'm finding now are smaller. They're not as vertical on the dinner plate, as it were. Not sneaking the chocks or the biscuits or even the grandkids' sweets. So that's got to be a real good thing, really. And apparently it's a metabolic blend which will speed up the metabolism, and it's got the grapefruit in it. This is a grapefruit peel, lemon peel, peppermint, ginger and cinnamon. So it's a real nice, spicy, warm feeling. But if you put it in maybe a mug of hot water with some honey, it's a lovely warming drink as well. You can even rub it into cellulite if you have it, or even put onto your stomach too. It's sorry, Andy.
No, I was going to say, it's really good to see that you're actually getting some fantastic results with it, Jackie. That you're actually doing it. You're going to stick with it, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, the great thing is really that, Andy, I weighed myself on Monday. I've actually lost 2 stone 4 pounds, which is £32.
Brilliant.
So I'm on to 11 stone 5, and it's dropping. But the thing is, my cholesterol I had tested 2 weeks ago is actually 3.7.
Fantastic.
Now that to me is absolutely amazing. So cut a long story short, it's absolutely amazing. So I just really wanted to share that with you.
Thank you very much.
It's
Brilliant.
really fantastic.
Thank you, Jackie. That's absolutely brilliant. If you can turn your camera off and everything else, that'd be fantastic. But thank you for coming on. Really do appreciate your time and spending that with us. So that you've heard Jackie's story there. So let's talk about the Fast Start bonus. Okay, this is the way that you can start earning money right away from the beginning. And there are 5 ways that you can actually earn money with doTERRA. Now, the first one is unique, or I say uniquely, but unusually paid weekly to people rather than monthly. And this is on new people that you may be enroll into the business, whether they be wholesale customers or whether they be wellness advocates, in their first 60 days. Okay, and you will get, as long as you're obviously going into the loyalty rewards program, you'll be entitled to these particular bonuses. And the first way it would work, anybody you bring in on what we call level 1, the people that you bring in, you would earn a 20% commission on everything they spend in the first 60 days that they're in. Okay, now also level 2, and this is if they enroll anybody, and it doesn't have to be in their first 60 days, it could be any time in the future. Maybe level 2 person could be 6 months down the line that they enroll. In their first 60 days, you will earn a 10% commission on them. And thirdly, on the third level, and that could be somebody maybe in a year's time or even 2 or 3 years' time, that they are enrolling, and you would earn a 5% commission on their first 60 days in the business as well. Now, the second way that you can earn a bonus, and this isn't the biggest way by any means, but it's a nice little bonus, this, just for structuring your business correctly. And this is done, each person, as long as you have what we call 600 PV, that's approximately sort of £450 in a month in sales, the people that you introduce, including yourself, the company will give you a £40 bonus. The second way is you just teach your team to duplicate what you have done. Introduce 3 people, they get the same amount of orders, and they'll give you an additional £180 bonus. And again, duplicate that again, so your 3 or their 3 introduce another 3 each, and that would give an £1,100 bonus. And like I'm saying, I know many people that earn less than that for their main job. This is just one of the 5 ways that you can get paid and get paid additional money. Now, this is quite an exciting part in the longer term part of your business, and this is called the uni-level bonus. And this is paid on everybody that's outside of the first 60 days. They then fall into what we call the uni-level plan. And there's a big, big difference on this compared to other network type companies. Firstly, you get paid 7 levels deep. But the unique thing is that they pay a higher percentage on the lower level of people. So level 1, you're not earning a fortune. If you just had 3 people who were doing 150 PV per month, roughly about £100 a month, something like that, you would see just an extra £7 on top of what we've spoken about. But you'll see how it grows and how the percentage grows as you go further down. Level 4, it starts making a more significant difference. Now, the previous network I was with, and in fact virtually all other networks, pay the highest commission on level 1, and it reduces down to much less on level 7. But as you can see, the number of people is going up the further you go down. On level 6, you've got 729 people. The way that doTERRA works, it gives you the most commission where you have most people, and the least commission where you have least people, which is completely different from the way most network organizations work. And these figures that we're talking about here are monthly, and there are many people within doTERRA earning well in excess of this particular example. Now, this way, this is the final way, this is the 5th way that you can get paid, and that is with leadership bonuses. Now, leadership bonuses, the company puts 7% of global profits aside and divide those amongst the people who wish to push on and become leaders within doTERRA. Now, this is paid, and it started with 1% at the Premier and Silver level, which will be an additional £150. But at the Silver, Gold and Platinum level, you can see you can either get 1 share, 5 share or 10 shares, and the money goes up accordingly. Now, Diamond is one of the major levels where people aim for. And that final 1% there is left for, we say the final of this particular example anyway, for Diamond, Blue and Presidential Diamonds. And you can see that the money is starting to go up accordingly here, depending what level you hit. But in addition to that, because they recognize that the Diamond level is one of the key levels, they also put an additional 3% aside for people who wish to attain the Diamond level or above. And these are monthly incomes as well. At the Diamond level, 2,120, you get 1 share. You get another share at the Blue Diamond level of 8,550, and you can see what the income would be there at Presidential Diamond. Now, you don't need to understand all of this at the moment. I'm just giving you an overview of what's available. This will give you an idea as well, just in a graphic form. And this is just showing how your business can grow, starting off maybe with at the elite level, which is maybe an extra £200–300 a month, and that people do that very much part-time. Some people do that in their first month, but you know, the first 2 or 3 months. Building up to Premier, on average around about sort of 4 to 6 months, something like that. That's an extra £400–500 a month, £600 a month. Moving up to Silver, Gold, you can see the figures that are there. I love the way that doTERRA put down to say that £11,300 that is supplementing your income per month at the Diamond level. And obviously the bigger incomes, and you know, our sponsors Nathan and Rebecca, when we joined back in September time or August time, they were just about starting to hit the Blue Diamond level, and at the end of the year they hit the Presidential Diamond level. So that gives you a good idea of really how your income can grow, or the potential of what you want. And it may be that you're just interested in a few £100 extra per month, and that's absolutely fine. But if you really want to build that income pipeline, the choice is there for you to do it. Now we've got another brief testimonial as well. I'd like to bring on Steve Gibson, and he'll tell you about his early experience, I think, with essential oils. Are you there, Steve?
I am indeed, yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah.
I can hear you just fine. You far away.
Okay. Right. Well, where can I start? Well, I got out of the army in 2001 and basically went into pretty much night shifts on security, dog handling, etc. So my whole sleep pattern basically was completely screwed. I'm trying to find a nice way of saying it. And it wasn't really an issue. And then because every now and then I get a lie in, and I could get maybe 12 hours or so, if I was lucky. And then when I hit just before my 50th birthday, became a father. And then anybody who's got children know that lie-ins basically don't exist anymore. So, and at work, I was actually asked if I was an extra for the Living Dead, because every morning I'd walk around yawning, and basically, and as Kim would tell you, you wouldn't approach me in the morning unless I've had at least 3 cups of coffee, and even then, approach with caution. Now, Kim's been going on at me for quite a while to do something about it, which in her mind means go to the doctor and get something to knock you out, which is something I'm dead against. Because I've known too many people have gone down that road and either end up addicted to something, or they've had to take other medication to get rid of the side effects of the first medication, etc. So last year we thought, okay, I'm not sleeping properly. I'm getting up 2 or 3 times a night, and as I'm getting older, a lot of those times I'm getting up, I'll pay a little visit, and anybody probably in their 50s will probably know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we decided to buy a proper bed, because obviously that was the problem. My grandmother used to say, if you're not in your shoes, then you're in your bed, so spend money on one or the other. So I spent 1,600 euros on a bed, all singing, all dancing, about a 2-foot mattress, really comfortable. It was a bit of a shock. I've never even spent that on a car before, but you thought, well, it's got to be worth it. Even the bloody pillows were like 60 odd euros each. I thought, great. Eventually it arrived after about a month and a half, and I thought, that's me sorted now. I'm going to be sleeping lovely. Not really. It just meant that when I woke up in the night, I was more comfortable. So Kim was then back on me, go to doctors, go to doctors, go to doctors. And then she stumbled across doTERRA, and she said, I know what will do it, lavender oil. And I was like, yeah, okay. Eventually, anybody knows Kim knows she's quite persistent. I thought, okay, I'll try some lavender oil to shut her up. And pretty much got a couple of drops on my hand, I was just told, stuck it on my temple, rubbed it on my wrists, took some deep breaths, and went to sleep. Now, I've always had no problem going to sleep, especially since the military. Anybody who's been in the military wouldn't understand. If you're not doing anything, everything's quiet, you go to sleep like that. That wasn't my problem. My problem's always waking up. I'm a light sleeper. I'd always be waking up, and quite obviously, often would be a little trip. So no matter how many hours I actually was in bed, I'd still wake up as I had no sleep at all. So anyway, I went to bed, did that, didn't hold out much hope. I did actually wake up a couple of times in the night, but didn't need to go anywhere. And I just looked at the clock, thought it was too early, went back to sleep. I woke up in the morning, and Kim said to me, you all right? Yeah, I was making the boys breakfast. She said, well, you're whistling. Okay. Anyway, so I'll try again tonight. Tonight must have been a fluke. Did it again the second night. Woke up again in the morning, and I don't know if anybody understands this. I actually felt like I'd actually slept. Whereas before, it's like I've been asleep for like 10 minutes and you wake up. But after these 2 nights with the lavender, I'd actually felt rested, if that makes sense. I did this every day for about a week and a half, and then I had a really bad day at work. I was like 14 hours, and I was absolutely worn out. I thought, I won't bother with it tonight. I won't need it. And that night I woke up 3 times, and 2 of those times I had to go to the loo. So I thought, okay, back on the lavender. And apart from one day when we were waiting for our delivery to arrive, we'd run out of lavender. I used Serenity, which also worked too well. I've used it every night since. And for someone like me, an essential oil was something that you had to put in your engine and stop it blowing up. The only thing I had any knowledge of lavender was my grandmother. She used to have a lavender triffid. You had to fight your way past to get to the front door, and the whole house smelled of the stuff because it was everywhere. So grandmother, she's probably very proud of me now.
Excellent.
But yeah, lavender, especially if you're a guy in their 40s or 50s, stops the little trips in the night. It's me.
We'll follow that. Okay, that's great. Thanks very much indeed, Steve. Really appreciate that. So, if you could press the appropriate buttons, that'd be absolutely brilliant. Okay, so you heard what Steve had to say about the products, and also you heard what Jackie had to say about the products earlier, of course. So this is a business that really can change your life, and also you can create an income, as we've already spoken about. And it's down to you. I mean, what would make the biggest impact in your life? Would it be earning more? Maybe being debt-free? Perhaps having savings if you haven't had the opportunity to have savings before? To have the chance of having real financial freedom. That means you get paid whether you work or not in the future. And maybe you want to be able to give to charities, give something back. Wouldn't that be a good thing, that after you've paid everything and you've saved everything, that you had more to give back? Obviously, working smarter, time freedom, that's one of the major differences that are out there. There are a lot of people that earn some good money, but they've got no lifestyle. They've got no time freedom. This is a business that can give you that if you're prepared to work the business for a period of time. You can be building your dreams rather than your boss. You can also, there's a lot of self-improvement. You know, people go on a journey with us as well and really do personally self-development. And as we said, you know, you can certainly be working towards financially planning for your future. And of course, we're all here once, as far as I know. As far as I can guarantee, we're all here once. And it's doing what you love rather than just working for a boss. Do you want to travel in the parts of the world that you want to go to that you never thought you'd have a chance to? Is that extra education that you want to take? And maybe just offering a service, offering something back into the community. And of course, most importantly, spending time with your family. Because I don't think anybody I've ever met has ever said, you know, or on their deathbed, do you know the one thing I regret is spending too much time with my family. I don't think that's ever happened, but there's plenty of people that do have regrets, and it's normally around how much time they worked and how little time they spent with their family. So if you partner with doTERRA and get where you want to be, I mean, which is the best path for you? Because you know, we're not your boss. You choose what's for you. Do you want to just get in to pay for your product? Maybe supplement your income or replace your income? We've touched on this earlier, but you could earn maybe £200 to £450 a month within a few months, certainly in the first few months, you know, maybe the elite level in 2 to 3 months, premier in 6 months. Many have got there much quicker than that, by the way. These are just averages. Time needed, 3 to 5 hours per week generally, or you can do that by personally just enrolling and introducing a few people per month. So that will just pay for your product and a little bit more. I should think most people aren't spending, you know, £450 a month on product. So that's a great way to start. You can supplement your income. Again, £450 to £3,000 per month. As you can see here, elite maybe 1 to 2 months, silver in 6 to 9 months, and maybe gold part-time in 1 to 2 years. We came in, we did gold in a month. We've had other people that have come and done silver in 2 or 3 months as well. You know, these are just average figures. You can go faster than that should you choose. Around about 10 to 15 hours a week part-time is what you need to put into that. And that could typically be by enrolling maybe 4 customers, or maybe looking for somebody like yourself who wants to build, wants to go down the team building side as well each month. Or what about replacing your income? 11,000 to 3,000 to 11,300 a month. Going towards gold, diamond level. And diamond, you know, we have a lot of people doing that, and the diamond level generally pays often between 5 to 10,000, 5 to 12,000 pounds per month on average. Is it worth putting maybe 1 to 3 years of your life into something like that on a part-time basis? But you will need to put some work in, maybe 15 to 30 hours a week. You choose. That might be enrolling 8 customers each month, a couple a week, and maybe finding out of that a couple of builders as well who want to build like you. You see, success is simple. There are 3 steps to build your financial pipeline, okay? And P stands for prepare. You've got to prepare yourself for success, and you've got to use the oils yourself. Okay, if you can't use them yourself, you're not using them, how can you possibly tell other people? And I can assure you, when we've been building our business, a lot of our story has been used because we've been using them ourselves and telling others about the fantastic results, like you've heard on here this evening. Invite others to learn about our natural solutions and our opportunity, and then you just simply present the message. You tell your own story, present the business to them, and we give you plenty of help and training and guidance on how to do that, which of course, once you're sharing it, if you're doing it from the right place and you're telling people this has had a major impact on my life, you will find that people will want to enroll with you. People will want these particular products in their life. It's not a matter of sharing, selling. It's really just a matter of sharing and showing other people what you're doing. And very often we give people a sample, just a free sample to try, and then they can see the benefits for themselves. And then you certainly don't have to sell, because they've seen those benefits. And of course then S for support. Support your customers and your builders to success over a period of time. But as we've already said to you, you'll get help every step of the way of that particular process. So as it says here, doTERRA certainly brings hope, certainly brought us a lot of hope when we saw it. And you know, we've just seen such wonderful things that have come out of this company since we've been involved, as well as the difference it makes with people's lives financially, also the difference it means to their health as well. So finally, get back to the person who introduced you to this presentation. Okay, you would have been introduced by somebody, whether you saw somebody's link online or maybe somebody emailed you or told you about it. They'll be able to answer any questions you have. Okay, and of course they can help you if you choose to join us. So that's it for this evening, everybody. Hope you got something out of that, and we'll catch up with you and see you all very soon. Good night, everyone.